Hi everyone, thank you so kindly for joining us. Welcome to Green Apple Books on the Park. My name is Car Johnson. I'm the event coordinator for Green Apple, and tonight I am very happy to welcome Mary Burk as we celebrate the latest edition, the 10th edition of Stairway Walks in San Francisco, the joy of urban exploring. Let's give a hand for Mary Burk. I'm so excited to have you here, and thank you all for coming out. I think we're on this side of the equinox, and it feels really good to be outside, despite this fake spring that's happening right now. It will be real spring someday soon, and we can go outside and explore. And I'm just glad to have you all here. I think this is a really cool book. I love books about San Francisco, and I think obviously you do too. Otherwise, why would you be here? Thank you so much for joining us in person and online. Hello, online audience. I'm waving to a camera if you can't see. We are broadcasting from San Francisco. We open each of our events with a land acknowledgement, and so I would like to let you know that we are operating on unceded or Métis Ohlone land. And we think that acknowledgement requires action, and so we encourage you to donate either your time or monetary means to an Indigenous organization each time you hear a land acknowledgement. We do this for all of our events, but I think it's particularly pertinent while we're talking about being outside in this beautiful city that we live in that has for so long been stewarded by Indigenous people and has made it great in so many ways. So think about that. That's Green Apple's message for you this evening. Very brief business before I let Mary take over here. Now's a good time to silence your cell phones if you have not already. I didn't ask you, is picture taking?
Sure, yeah, whatever you guys like.
Sure, picture taking, okay. No bad pictures allowed. You're not allowed to share bad pictures. You're not allowed to share bad pictures, unflattering photos on social media. And just don't take, we mentioned that, just don't take a call in the middle of the event. Thank you so much. Please do check out our full event calendar online at greenapplebooks.com. We have a really great season ahead of us, including the event you are currently attending. Please do buy books if you are able. We always appreciate it. We have copies of this beautiful 10th edition of Stairway Walks at the front register. You can find them there. I'm sure Mary would be happy to sign them at the end of the evening. If you've been here before, you've certainly heard me say that when you buy books from us, not only do you support us as an independent bookstore, you support the writers who put so much work into making these books, and then you get to have a book, which might be the best part. So if you are able, we always appreciate it. And if you have past editions, this is updated. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's so many more walks. So consider it. We always appreciate it. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the writer who is joining us tonight. Mary Burk has been walking the stairways of San Francisco since the 1980s. While researching the city and its 7 hills, Mary discovered Ada Bakalinsky's book and quickly fell in love with her unique way of bringing the city to life. Mary and Ada first met at a book event for the 4th edition at the San Francisco Main Public Library. The two became fast friends, bonding through their deep interest in exploring the city on foot. Ada shared with Mary how every walk has its own rhythm, and so the two of them began improvising new walks together. 3 editions later, Ada passed the torch to Mary. When not out walking, Mary works as a software systems consultant and enjoys swimming and cooking. She shares a home with her husband, their 2 cats, and their 25-year-old catfish, which I think is pretty cool. Please give one more hand for Mary Burk.
Well, welcome, walkers. I'm excited to be here and share with you a little history about the book that Ada created, Stairway Walks in San Francisco. And I also have a brief history of when nearby stairways here were built, located in Golden Gate Park. As a person who loves discovering new things through reading, it's great to be a part of greeting you all here, and you all have a clear interest in books. Thank you. Reaching new walkers, young and old, fast and slow, is what I like to do. Thank you to Green Apple Books on the Park for hosting this event, and for all of you that have come out tonight. I wrote a script, so that's why I'm reading. Okay, so I wanted to make sure I give you all the right information, but I'll try to engage. So stop me if you ever want to, too. Many decades ago, Ada Bakalinsky began writing about stairways in San Francisco because they seemed more interesting than giving tours pointing out mansions. So a librarian encouraged Ada to find a publisher, get a map maker, and make it happen. And she did. When the book was first published out of Berkeley by Wilderness Press, She had a strong partner in the publishing company that believed in her. Early editions featured stairway illustrations instead of photos by Trudy Douglas, and the list of stairways that became the Stairway Index was collected together by Charles Brock. Later on, and before the 5th edition, map work was taken over by Ben Pease, who I'm pleased to still work with today. And in the 7th edition, Marion Gregoire helped Ada write the walks, and as Carr mentioned, for the 8th edition, Ada asked me to take over. Ada realized that stairways are always ready to take you somewhere. Plus, you never know what amazements await you when landing up. Ada knew what serendipity is, and she knew how to find it through the rhythm of a good walk, also as Carr mentioned. She would say to me, "Mary, you just have to take it one step at a time." She was joking. She's always joking. Serendipity is the most precious thing one can encounter during a walk, and Ada's love of serendipity still guides my walks forward. Every day I can get out there, it's interesting to see what is discovered and revealed. It's been my honor to carry on Ada's legacy of finding and routing new stairway walks over the last 12 years. The first walk I wrote for Ada features the Ada Stairway, and it marked the beginning of a new chapter for me as this book's author. Before that, I was a walker and a busser around town. All right, next page. Bear with. All right, I moved to San Francisco without a car in the 1980s. Then one day in 1996, a librarian recommended Ada's book to me as a fun thing to do, and it was super fun. And it was a welcome delight to eventually meet and become Ada's friend. I met her at a library talk. It was in 1997, and I offered to go scouting with her on new walks and send her information about stairways I had discovered. "This one by Cesar Chavez and Bayshore, it's really cool, we have to go there," I said. But since then, we enjoyed exploring the city together whenever we could. It was always fun to check out new places with Ada, and her love of adventure really knew no bounds. But anyway, nearby to this bookstore, there are 3 stairway walks I can recommend that are quite enjoyable. The first is the Golden Gate Park Walk, that's number 33, and it includes multiple stairways and 2 waterfalls. The second one nearby here is Ada's Walk, number 30, and it takes you around the Upper Haight and up and around the back of Buena Vista Park. And the third walk is probably one of Ada's most famous walks, number 11, which features the Moraga Stairway at 17th Avenue that then leads you up to Grandview Park. So that's where the Moraga Stairway is. The Moraga Stairway is pretty glorious, and it actually shimmers in the sunset. The tile work features a moon and the sun, stars, and cascades of sparkling ceramic art. The sunset makes it dazzle off the Pacific Ocean. The stairway transforms the Golden Gate Heights neighborhood into an amazing viewpoint. And nearby, in the same walk, the hidden guard steps at 16th and Kirkham are really wonderful to visit too. Tile work has been done there, more featuring like plants and animals and nature. Okay, I'll take a breath. But now let's talk a little history. Park history, anyway, and then a few stairways that lie within it. Where we are sitting and standing now all used to be sand dunes. But in 1870, however, San Francisco began building out Golden Gate Park to create 1,017 acres of delight for the city to enjoy. In 1888, the first children's playground was built, and it was named the Sharon Children's Quarter, now known as the Correct Children's Playground and Carousel. In 1890, you could see the white paneled glass of the Conservatory of Flowers from the Sharon Building, which is now where you can take art classes, across the music concourse before the DeYoung Museum was built. So it's a very different view that long ago, 130 years ago. Anyway, in 1893, the area close to us in Golden Gate Park, known as the Music Concourse, was furiously built up over 8 months to become the central setting of the 1894 San Francisco Midwinter Fair. This year-long event brought us the Japanese Tea Garden, and because it was nearby, improvements came too to Blue Heron Lake and to Huntington Falls that come down Strawberry Hill. But let me get back to the Tea Garden. It's so nice that we still have it. Inside the Tea Garden, there is a moon bridge. And this bridge has steps on it because it's so steep to climb. So the Moon Bridge is a stairway if it wants to be. And this bridge slash stairway, honorary stairway, was built in 1894 as part of the Midwinter Fair Garden that we still enjoy today. There is a stairway leading up from the back of the Japanese tea garden that leads up to Blue Heron Lake. It has a wonderful kind of curl to its handrail at the bottom of the stairway you have to look for. That also was built out in 1894 as part of connecting the lake and the Midwinter Fair buildings together. Where am I? Okay. The Huntington Falls on Strawberry Hill were built pretty early. In fact, the Huntington Falls were completed in 1891, but the stairways alongside the waterfall weren't built until the 70s. In 1976, our sister city, Taipei, gifted us a pagoda, and we needed to figure out, that is, Mayor Dianne Feinstein needed to figure out, where do we put it? They did figure it out. DPW by 1984 had put in stairways on both sides of the Huntington Falls, and also a nice rock walkway at the bottom of the falls that can lead you over to where the pagoda now sits. And there's handrails. And they also made sure that we gave a gift to Taipei. Our gift to them was a children's playground. The pagoda features a small koi pound and a small garden around it. The stairways make it easy to reach a landing on the waterfall. It's located partway up the falls. And here you can enjoy views over the lake and also out to the music concourse. A lot of trees have grown up over the last 100 years, but you can kind of still see through the trees, the concourse there. And where am I? But anyway, it's been really transformed into a more popular place to visit than ever before. Here's a side note. I was here Saturday, and it was lovely. Let's see, I read this part. Strawberry Hill actually used to be the location of the old Sweeney Observatory. I don't know if you've ever heard about that, but there used to be a 2-story concrete observatory built on top of Strawberry Hill, and there's a horse carriage trail that still winds up Strawberry Hill that people would ride their carriage up into, park their horses, and then go up to the second level to enjoy the views that were 360 degrees around the park from there. Before the earthquake. The 1906 earthquake decided that the Sweeney Observatory would be no more, and it basically crumbled. But if you do walk up there, you can see a few crumbling rocks that were left over from it. Amazing, there's still a few ruins. And if you walk the winding horse trail, you can see a little bit of the retaining wall that used to be built there too. But anyway, you don't have to park your horses anymore. There are also stairways to enjoy in the Striving Arboretum. This first opened in 1940. There are stairs in the Zellerbach Garden, which were built out in 1966, and these are often used for weddings. And there's also a stairway in the Succulent Garden, and another stairway running through the South Africa Terrace Garden. All these are nice ways to enjoy the Arboretum on foot while you're, excuse me, bloom scrolling the plants and flowers with your nose. So there are also gradual inclining stairways in the park here, west of the Academy of Sciences. They kind of lead you up to the Rhododendron Dell and also up to JFK Promenade. There are some good stair substitutions available in the children's playground. These are called slides. Handrails for stairways look older, but could have been added later in these, like the park stairways. I couldn't confirm dates. I want to say 20s to 40s, but it could be later. They're the nice green railing ones, and they slope really nice along the different stairways in the park. Anyway, okay. But the newest stairways actually are right near here at the park entrance opening at 9th and Lincoln. In November 2024, Mayor London Green dedicated that avenue and Lincoln entrance to the park, and so now we have stairs and ramps, and the wideness of the pathways give 2 people enough room to walk side by side, or with a person in a wheelchair. After this talk, I encourage you all to walk over and check it out. It's only like a half block that way. So, new editions of Stairway Walks in San Francisco can take some time to put together. New editions come out every 3 to 5 years, and updating the book and the index and planning new walks, it takes about a year. But happily, the walking and routing bug that Ada must have gifted me to is always tittering. You should work, you should work. The Stairway Muse gives me hints and ideas for walks, and I find myself pulled to places that are ripe for exploring or rediscovering from like different directions or when new things develop. The Waller stairs that go up from Laguna to Buchanan are great. Go check them out. They need to be part of a walk. Right now, though, excuse me, I'll take a glass of water. Right now, there are 3 new walks in draft stages being formed. I've started a walk in the neighborhood where Ada used to live. It'll include Lafayette Park and the Octagon House at Goffin Green. 2 other walks that are also in the works. One's going to be near Crane Cove, and I'm seeing how I can connect that to the Dog Patch Walk. And then the third is actually a third Bernal Heights walk. I want to feature the Tompkins Stairway, the Jarbo Stairs, and a little Bronte. I'm also open to suggestions for stairways to add to the index and to routing new walks I haven't done before. And for people who like to count steps or the numbers of stairs, let me know your counts. I will take your counts. It's important to touch on how this book over the last 40 years has helped to summarize and highlight the hard work of so many volunteers and neighborhood associations and many nonprofit groups that operate in San Francisco. Some of these associations have grown up just because of the stairway and the neighbors wanting to make their neighborhood a little cheerier or a bit more artistic or just welcoming. And the artwork that San Francisco has embraced through its public works and its stairways is phenomenal too, through works created by Eileen Barr and Colette Kritcher in so many different public locations around the city: Moraga, 16th and Kirkham, Tunnel Top Park, Marylebone Elementary School. I could go on. These works make the beauty of San Francisco a little more permanent, and tile colors rarely fade. So, okay, I'll keep going. Ada's book is like a snapshot in time about what these walks felt like in their time. It's been a main success criteria or purpose in the book to help readers discover the joys of urban exploring and give folks some ideas around what is there to do as you go ambling about. Even if you get lost, it doesn't have to be aimless. And it's really quite incredible to think of how many memories we have stuffed into ourselves of what the city was like 20 years ago or 40 years ago. This is part of why the book keeps changing and evolving. The city keeps transforming. But it's wonderful to be able to look back and get some idea of what past San Francisco used to be like, to think how the parks and stairways we still use today have helped so many people trotting along here before us. I was looking at a picture today of these 2 girls in white pinafore dresses from 1900 playing on the winemaker statue that sits in the music concourse right by the De Young Museum. And I was there just like 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh, okay, that was a 125 connection. 25-year connection. Anyway, things change around us, and I keep finding the need to keep walking or follow that adage, just keep swimming. It helps keep me steady. Walking gives me time to relax or think or explore how I feel. This is why I'm so happy and humbled to have been given this opportunity to continue Ada's vertical chronicles of the city. It lets me meet new artists, new walkers, and the kindest, most lovely people that care about the city and its inhabitants in a warm and genuine way. I love capturing new sights or new things to do around a walk. But highlighting artistic work or drawing our city's infrastructure is a bonus worth discovering. And through the book, it's possible you too can discover some serendipity in San Francisco as you amble up and down about town. So, where did I go? This part is a good part, maybe. Memories are powerful, binding things. I don't know, just think. People miss Playland at the beach and Fly Shack the Pool, who weren't even born yet when these places were still operating. History pulls us in. Nostalgia is a tempting thing. It welcomes us to think about what things were like and how things have changed. Okay, in 2004, it was very exciting to hear the news that Mayor Gavin Newsom had dedicated a day for stairways in honor of Ada and the Stairway Walks in San Francisco book. This happened shortly before the Moraga stairway tile work was completed, and there was a ceremony held at City Hall that included the presentation of a framed city certificate noting the day and the reasons for it. In 2024, though, we went further. SF Parks Alliance held a month of stairway celebrations this past October as part of helping people come out and celebrate the latest tile work that's been done on the Burnside Stairway in Glen Park. This stairway also has a historical story mural with pictures of Glen Canyon history and Islay Creek, which runs underneath the stairway as a culvert still. I've learned that SF Parks Alliance is also planning to have every October now be a Stairway Month celebration. So look forward to more walks and custom walks, and that should be great. This news encourages me to keep celebrating with the city and expanding my advocacy for walking stairways and encouraging others to have urban adventures. And then I wanted to also mention advocacy work that Walk SF has been doing to bring awareness to the city about pedestrian safety and honoring the memories of pedestrians that have been killed in the city by drivers. I hope Walk SF will be able to influence San Francisco and DPW to install more bollards near bus stops and park entrances, and those narrow maintenance roadways sometimes people mistake are okay for cars when they are not. I appreciate that Walk SF's support for the book. The Walk SF Annual Stairway Challenge raises funds to support Walk SF. It gives people a chance to combine their love of stairways and walking with supporting a useful cause. I'm proud to say that they have borrowed heavily from Stairway Walks in San Francisco to route their stairway challenges. Because I don't know, you all might have realized this, but walkers in SF realize early that stairway walks can be some of the safest ways to explore the city. Because it is very uncommon, yes, I have one example, but let's not go there. It is very uncommon to have a car cross your path as you take the handrail and ascend or descend where only walkers are meant to tread. Yes, Noe Valley, we're so sorry. Okay, moving on. But anyway, in the first edition, Ada's experience with the city was very different from ours today. There were 55,000 fewer people living in the city limits. The sizes of our cars were longer but not taller, and they were less than half the number of cars than two. There were more bus lines. I miss you, number 26 Valencia, and I miss you the most, number 76 Marin Headlands. Come back, Muni, if you can hear me. And the beauty of seeing the city by stairway, though, was a dream that Ada was just beginning to make come true. But I have a little bit more to tell you about the 10th edition now. The 10th edition of Stairway Walks in San Francisco offers old and new readers a lot of walks, and they are walks you can take with exuberant, ambulatory excitement. Get your feet moving. The book invites you to discover San Francisco with new eyes, to discover the delights scattered about like dewdrops, waiting for the sunshine of your attentions to make the day shimmer like 49er gold. Come on, 49ers, okay. We still have a comprehensive index of the city's 700 plus public stairways. I have lively route descriptions and color maps, at-a-glance quick-step instructions for each walk, and free activities to take in near each walk. Parking and public transportation options are also detailed, and available restrooms have been added in. All photographs are now in color. I'm hoping all these features inspire you to get out there and take a walk. Tonight we had time to talk about how Stairway Walks in San Francisco started, and mention a few of the people who helped grow this book into the essential walker's reference material it's actually become. It's a big responsibility. I want to make it always work. But we talked about serendipity and how it's worth finding on Stairway Walks. And then we had a chance to touch on the historical timeline of nearby stairways in Golden Gate Park. Lastly, of course, we also learned that bridges and slides can also be useful ways to get around when you're on foot. They can be honorary stairways. But I do hope you all get out here soon and that you have a terrific time. It's been a pleasure speaking with you all tonight. Let me close by saying, I wish you happy healing, frisky footing, and wonderful walking. If I say merry walking, you'll think it's just me. I don't want to be confused. Thanks again, and thank you for coming out, and I'll take questions.
talking here about other favorite walks that people have discovered. For me, it's Harry off of Laidley.
Yes, the Harry steps are wonderful. They're part of, which is what is it, number 25 I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I take you through Topaz and Goldmine also.
And Glen Park.
Yeah, in Glen Park, yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
Are there, as like the city has changed through like renewal and like urban, like different urban developments that have happened, either like through Ada's time or like your time, have there any like stairways that disappeared?
Yeah. What some have been replaced some have been replaced, but some have disappeared. In Bernal Heights, we lost part of, which one was it? There was a stairway that ended up being taken out because there was a legal lot identified at the bottom of the stairs, and then they built a house in front of it, so the stairs kind of went nowhere. I forget which one that is. I'm sorry. And then for a while, the Iron Alley steps up going up towards Twin Peaks near Pemberton were closed. And then actually one of the new walks I added to the 10th edition, there were stairs closed off for about 45 years for the walk that's near, give me a second, that's near Fort Mason. It's the new walk for the General's Garden, the Black Point Gardens. There used to be stairs that you could kind of see by a blocked off train tunnel that used to run over to Fort Mason. That was for supplies for the Presidio. And yeah, there used to just be all fenced off and tons of graffiti and overgrown. It was completely dangerous. But yeah, that walk's wonderful now. Gotta go enjoy that one. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there another question? Yes.
When you've been exploring, have you ever accidentally wandered up a private staircase?
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, where was I? Oh, I think it was also up by Twin Peaks. Which one was it? Shoot, I want to say Burkett? Oh, forgive me for that one. But yeah, I got to the top of the stairs and then there was a gate. And the gate was locked. I was like, am I on a private stairway? Because I didn't think I was, because it had a street label for the stairway, which is, the normal way to mark that you're actually still on one street. That's become a stairway. Yeah, that one maybe that was Iron Alley. Apologies, I think that was Iron Alley.
I'd like to just comment. So at the Filbert Steps,
Yes.
in the chapter here, it mentioned that it gave a name, takes care of the gardens in this particular, just right down there.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was doing it's walk 1, and I saw an elderly lady, and she was gardening.
Oh,
and so I asked, I'm like, oh hi, what you doing? And she had a QR code to donate, thing.
Oh, wow.
And I asked her if her name was, and then I went to the book, and she's like, no, that's not me. That was the person before her.
Right.
I guess she takes care of it now.
Oh, okay. Did you hear her name? I should update it.
Jones.
Okay. Thank you.
And so we started talking, and I think I was wearing slippers at the time, so I couldn't help, with the garden. But we exchanged numbers, and I came back the next day, and so now I sort of maintain a little small section of the Filbert Steps.
That's wonderful.
And it turns out she lives in the Brown House, which used to be a grocery store on the Filbert Steps. So it's kind of cool that, and so now I help her personally with she has a cat that she needs, whatever things. So now I got to be inside the house that's mentioned in the book. I feel like a dork for that, but
that's awesome.
so it was kind of cool. Yeah.
No, that's great. No, the fun thing about doing the stairs or revisiting and checking everything still matches or what's happened is you run into people that'll just come out and talk to you. People are so friendly and open around stairways. At least I've been lucky that way. So it's always been a great experience. Yeah, I'm glad you had that.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Do you have a favorite walk? And then is the new edition keep adding walks, or are there some that are getting edited out over the editions?
So far I am trying to keep all walks.
Okay.
and just adding. I have concentrated effort to make sure I kept all the walk numbers the same as I kept adding. And so we're good and consistent since like 6th edition, but I noticed while I was looking back on earlier editions today that we changed some of the numbers, so it's like, oh, I guess we didn't care before, but whatever. But yeah, I am trying to just only add new ones and not get rid of any. I mean, if something like really closed down and like wasn't there, I or if something changed, I usually try to make a reroute. Maybe the favorite one I have right now is 35. 35 makes you go up and down Glen Canyon. And it's great because you get the real sense of like how big the canyon is, how deep it is, what's inside it. And then you get an opportunity to go and visit Burnside Stairway also, which is just 2 blocks away from the midpoint of the walk. So I'll just tell you really quick, if you don't have the book, what it is. There's a shopping center, I think it's a Diamond Heights Shopping Center, and there is a park that's kind of to the side of that Safeway Shopping Center area. You walk into the park and you walk across and past the baseball field, and then you'll see a large tree kind of overhanging what looks like a drop-off cliff. You walk to that tree and you see the steep down and you start the walk. And walk down into the canyon. There's been a whole bunch of great stairway improvements done in the canyon. There's railings. A lot of them are like kind of the step trails, the big wood timber steps. So it's more like double steps rather than normal riser stairways. But there are also some new ones built in, and they can get you all the way down to Silver Tree Children's Camp, and then you keep walking on over to the Glen Park Recreation Center, and then that's where you could do your little side ramble over to the Burnside Stairway, but then come back, and you're going to come right back up the canyon and finish your loop. And that one's great. It was so much there in the canyon to explore, I had to split it out. It used to be part of Walk 25, but it was just too big after they added so many stairways. I had to give it its own treatment.
Stairway heaven.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's worth it.
Is that part of the Crosstown Trail? Because the way you're describing it, it sounds like the part of the Glen Canyon that we walked through. I think so. Yeah.
Really? Am I?
Yeah.
Might have found it
I
similar.
walked through like so many stairways, and like you're just bringing my memory from that.
Yeah, I know. If you can't picture the landmarks, then that makes it hard. But I'll try to keep you with it.
Yeah, we stopped there.
When you had mentioned that the Walk SF has stairways that overlap with yours,
Oh yeah.
my immediate thought was the Crosstown Trail, because
There's-
they overlap all 3 of those.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Yeah. Diamond Heights and the Noe Valley one, and then one other one became the last Stairway Challenge.
Mhm.
I don't know if any of you did that one. I did that one last year. It rained so hard. And I did not wear like rainproof stuff at all. I was completely soaked. Yeah, I looked like total wet rat. Oh well. But it was fun. It was cold.
What you mentioned that there is a day that Mayor Newsom declared a day. And
Yeah.
what day is it?
I think it's March 14th.
Oh.
So we just missed it. But yeah, just work on bringing that back. I don't know, why not have a day in a month? Yeah.
You said at some point that like you worked with like a lot of like neighborhood associations and like just like people throughout the city. What was that like? Like, do they like are there people in the associations who like help take care of the stairs or maintain the stairs and?
Yeah, there are a bunch. Let's see. I've worked with a few of them. There's a volunteer group that does like gardening around the Lombard Stairs. There's one for Ada's Stairway. There's I think that one's the Green Streak Butterfly group. There's also one for Hidden Garden Steps that you can go to. I think it's the first Wednesday of the month. And there's also a person you can contact. I think her name's Alice Z or Yee, to volunteer for helping around the Moraga Stairway. There's a lot you can find. That's the best part, I guess. Yeah, often weekends are volunteer days, so if you're out walking, you can come across an association and just start participating. Yeah, you got lucky with Filbert. So, yeah.
I just stay motivated to keep going out there. It seems to me like the first time you go see a walk or a staircase, there's novelty to it. But we only have these 49 square miles. Do you get a little bit tired of the ones you've seen, or how do you find novelty there?
Well, I kind of try to make walks around stairways that don't seem to have a bunch of little connections already just clearly around them. And I try not to make too many flat walks. I guess the inspiration to keep going is it's still fun to kind of go out and explore the city. I go out early morning, so I'm hitting not very much traffic, and I'm not interrupting a lot of other people that are out and about also. So I can kind of just muse on things and muddle about does this make sense? Does that connect? And checking on maps to see if I'm trying to put people too far away. There's been some amazing alley artwork done that I learned about from the Glen Park Association. That's near a neighborhood that doesn't have a whole bunch of other stairways around it. So there's one big stairway and some artwork in an alley, and then I don't have anything else to connect it to. So do I make something that just features that and then see how I can round that out with other activities, or is this maybe just something to mention that's further rambling because it's close enough to something else that really did come together? Yeah, I don't know. You gotta feel it out. It is that thing where you go and walk it a few times and it's is that a good loop? Was that fun? Did I get lost? I don't know, did I answer your question?
I didn't ask you.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So the walk in Mission Bay and Salesforce Park, I think, are peculiar relative to the book because one has 0 stairways, and the second one, you mentioned it. I like the way the laugh you got from the last book event. The only stairway it has is escalators. So I had been thinking about that there should be a third way, that there's a walk that has another take on stairways. One was none, the other one was electronic.
Yeah.
Or maybe one that includes some other mode of transportation where in order to complete the thing. I just think that'd be kinda...
include a ferry or something.
Yeah.
Or that would go to Angel Island, maybe.
Well, I was thinking tying into Treasure Island, because that would still be within city limits.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it was just a thought to include some other way.
That's not a bad idea. That could be fun. There are some stairways on Treasure Island that would be fun to make a walk out of.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of been waiting for more development, but it's there now almost. What do you think?
I've gone up to the Millennium Park. I think it's Millennium Park, where it has that spire thing.
Yeah.
I didn't see any stairways. I know there's a historic lighthouse.
There's one by that general's house or whatever. There's a couple around there, and then there's a couple that look like they're more maintenance stairways that maybe were part of the freeway stuff that I probably can't use.
Off limits.
Yeah.
What makes a great or perfect walk in your
So the Mondrian Walk, that's kind of near Dolores Heights. That one got reworked so many times by Ada because she never felt at first how is this supposed to work? Where should I take you? Should we go up and down this one, or should we move over here? It ended up that she took the walk and rerouted it enough times to see where her feet felt like she was having a dance. She always was relating stairway walks that she created to creating a jazz freeform song. and so, I love that metaphor. And so it's okay, well, how do you find the rhythm of a walk? And part of that is did you make it too hard for yourself to finish? Yes, that's not a good rhythm. Do you have to deal with a lot of traffic? That's probably a bad walk. Unless you want to get people to some of the tourist things that are in some of the earlier walks that put you down in the financial district. I guess each walk ends up being its own different thing. I don't know, you don't know where they're going to end up, so I don't know, it's I'm cooking blind. Yeah.
I had a question on how you kind of, like I said, as these stairways are changing, how you're kind of sourcing all these updates, because there's a lot of stairs to walk. Are you getting updates from people who are managing them, or people who just, your fans, or people who are readers who just walk them and they just tell you?
Yeah, so sometimes I'm getting updates. I get suggestions from people, like there's a neighborhood association around the Vulcan Steps that contacted me, and they were so happy we had a walk already for them. And they're like, well, come out. I was like, okay. I didn't have new things I could change for them, but I was, really glad to talk with them and that's find their interest and support them. Most of the time, I think I'm doing a lot of solo work, but I do have other folks that work with me. Tony Holliday, who wrote one of the pieces in the foreword for me, is a giant walker, and he does a lot of photography work that he's taken over the last 50 years and posts on Facebook and San Francisco Remembered and all that. And it's fun to hear from Tony when he has something he wants me to check out, or there's been some change I want to make sure I capture, like for Russian Hill or Knob Hill. And so, it's good to hear from people that are in different neighborhoods. I have some really good connections now since the Burnside Stairway came together in Glen Park. So that's been really good to develop. And then I think I'm going to reconnect with the Green Street Butterfly folks, because a fourth walk I've actually been thinking about is going to give you a nice kind of zigzag up around Pacheco and Quintara. There's some really nice steep stairs that they might not get the artwork that they deserve, but they'll be a great workout, and it's so fun to just go up and down and see the ocean view as you come back and forth. So, did I answer your question?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah.
We have a really old version of the book, so I don't know if this has changed, but I noticed that none of the walks include estimated distance or time. Is that on purpose, and then why?
It used to be, but it's something that we've missed by 5 hours in adding to the 10th edition. Another things you were mentioning about resources, it is a lot of CalTopo work and Google Maps work to double check myself. And I go and rewrite the quick step instructions too. But sorry. Tell me the question again. I'm so sorry.
The time taken or distance.
Right. Thank you. So we missed adding it to the last edition by just a few hours. I've got half of the numbers in hand to add in. I know it's something that people like to know real length, distance for, because you might not walk as fast or slow as I do. I walk on the medium slow side, so when I say a walk is 2.5 hours, it might only be an hour 45 for you. So. Yeah, next time. Anybody else? Oh, one more question. All right. Thank you all again for coming. I really appreciate it.
Can we give one more hand to Mary Burk? This was so fun. I'm so glad to be here with you all. I think this guide is really beautiful, and I'm glad that we get to celebrate it. And I'm glad that everyone had really interesting questions, and thank you. And so it's cool. It's cool. I will be brief. I'm just here to let you know that we have copies available at the front register. You can find them there. Mary, I'm going to have you here signing books, if that is all right with you. So, copy at the front, bring it back here to have Mary sign, if you would like. We have other books you're welcome to take a look at while you're here in the meantime. Please do make yourselves comfortable. If you have any questions, let me know. And if not, we will see you next time. Thanks so much.